Hi, I just want to encourage you to get the book Wholeness. I wrote this book about 10 years ago. It was after a speaking conference I did, and 300 ladies showed up instead of 20. And all of a sudden I realized that I was going to have to get something on paper to help people with their health. When my husband would come home from work, there would be people all on the front porch. There would be wheelchairs and sick people sitting around our kitchen table. And finally, after I spoke to these 300 ladies, I thought, okay, now what's going to happen to me next? Because there's only one of me. And I really want them to understand my journey. I want them to see that there's hope, that there is a way to be healed from sickness and disease. Many of you know that I had fibromyalgia, I had lupus, I had MS, I had chronic migraines, I couldn't sleep, my body hurt all over. After 4 years of teaching myself and getting in the floor and sitting, reading one book after the other, I finally learned enough to where I could start applying some of these things to myself. Over time, I became very well to the point of where I'm the person who's never sick. I'm the person who has, for the last 10, 12 years of my life, been the most well person you could possibly meet. So it's because I learned some things that the Lord was teaching me. I wanted to introduce you to my book. If you do not have my book, Wholeness, this is it right here with my picture on the front. This picture says this lady is well and healed and whole, and she lives in a whole new place. And I was the sickest person you might have ever met. My husband used to carry me. I could not walk. MS had totally taken my energy, my legs. I couldn't talk well. I am a speech therapist. So I had to really change everything in my life. I had to go from a medical background and the things like that I had learned so well and had worked in hospitals all my life, and I had to change my entire outlook to something that had to do with herbs and vitamins and things that I thought smelled funny when I walked into a store. Things that were weird to me when I'd walk into a health food store. I thought, what is all this stuff? It just smells weird to me. But I would buy it, I would waste my money, I would spend it on things that did not work. And then over time, God led me down a different path where I started learning how to do this, how to listen to God, how to hear. He led a precious man into my life at that time who was a Messianic Jewish man, who taught me so much about nutrition and herbs and food. He taught me about vitamins and wholeness. So I named my book Wholeness because it brought me from a very sick place of pain, chronic issues with my health, to a place of complete wholeness, wellness, shalom, nothing missing, nothing broken. I had so many people tell me through the years, you don't need to have stress. But the doctors would tell me stress is the worst thing for your life. You don't need to have stress. Well, as I say in this book, this most stressful thing in life is for someone to tell you that you are so very sick, you need to be in a nursing home, you need to have a wheelchair, you're not going to be able to be okay ever again, and here I am. I could not walk. For 4 years, I battled with this. Off and on, sometimes 2 and 3 weeks at a time. I couldn't even get out of my bed. My husband would have to roll my body over in the night because I couldn't even turn. He would have to help me get in and out of chairs, get in and out of the truck, get in and out of the car. I got to where I couldn't even ride in a pickup because the pain of fibromyalgia was so intense in my body. Migraines were chronic. I had them almost every single day of my life. This is the journey I have personally been through. When I began to write this book, it was just because there were so many people wanting my help. I had gotten well. And because I got well, they were like, I know somebody's sick, or my sister is sick, my mother is sick, would you help us? So I couldn't say no. I absolutely could not say no. So my husband would come home and there'd just be all these people at my house, and I was trying to help them. Soon after that, they announced that I was going to be speaking at a ladies' conference, and I thought it was just going to be 20 or 30 ladies, which they usually have, but there was 300 there. After the conference, the pastor's wife got up and she said, ladies, please don't go home and call her. There's no way she can help every one of you. And I said, well, you know what? I'll go home and I will start writing a book, and we'll have a new conference and I'll teach you the book. When I got in the car, my mother says to me, Connie, did you know you just told those women you were going to write a book? And I said, uh-oh, I guess I'm going to write a book. So I went home and I started writing. I got out all my journals. I got out all the information that I had so learned myself, how the Lord had led me, different issues of my health, whether it was pain of my legs or weakness in my legs, whether it was things with my heart and my lungs, whether I couldn't breathe. There are so many symptoms with MS that you just think, how am I going to get through this? Because in the natural, it doesn't look like you're ever going to get through it. You can't sleep, you cannot eat. And so I ended up writing the book. And my husband would type. He types really fast, and he would type at night, and I would dictate to him what I'd written. And before long, we had written this book. The day of the conference, when I promised these ladies I would have a book, the day of the conference, they were delivered on my front porch, published and ready to go. And I opened the box, and there on the cover was my face, my picture, as big as the book. And I was horrified. I said to my husband, oh no, I can't take these books up there. My face is on the cover. I thought they were going to put a little picture of me on the back. Make a long story short, there was no time to do anything else except take the books with me. My husband goes, no, this picture says, this woman is well, this woman is healed. My husband was like, no, you have to leave the cover on. So I left the cover. It's kind of old now. I have long hair now. This has been like 8 or 9 years ago since I wrote the book. I kind of look different than this now, and it's still me though. And I've been selling these books for years to people at seminars, to people who come to hear me speak, to people who hear me on the radio. But I've decided here lately to go to a much broader audience now. My children are raised. Things are different in my life now. I can spend my energy instead of raising my family, which turned out to be a wonderful thing that I spent my time doing. Now I can do these other things. I've taught for years. Most people know my teaching, the things that I do about health and nutrition, the way I fit it in with scriptures and God's healing scriptures, and just my personal journey. And that's what this book is. It's my personal journey, and it's called Wholeness. It's a workbook. It's a manual. It's a way for you to get a hold of the things that's being prompted in your heart as you're reading them. So I tell people, get this book. Let the Holy Spirit guide you. He will show you the things that are right for you. The things that you don't need to do in the book, don't do. Wait, pray, listen to God. Do the things that He prompts you to do. But anything that's in this book, I did. It's my own personal walk, my own personal journey, and you will have a lot of wonderful success. You'll be able to use this with your children, even your animals at home. There's a lot of things in here that are going to bring you to a wonderful place in your life. So I'm highly encouraging you to get my book Wholeness. This will be the first time that I have actually presented it where anyone and everyone can get it. And I'm very excited about it. I haven't just selfishly held it back. I just wasn't ready to put it out there yet. I was just doing other things with my life, like raising my family. So I'm encouraging you now. It's out there now. It's going to be available on my website. It's going to be available on the ebook. You're going to be able to download it, I hear, from the computer to your computer, even to your Nook or whatever object that you have. You can download it to, probably even your telephone. So I really want to encourage you to get it. Listen to the teachings along with the book. You'll be able to find your path to your healing for your body and healing for others. I tell people to please pass this on. Don't just take it and hoard it to yourself. Pass it on. Give it to other people that you know are sick. This was just a brief little testimony. I did not intend to come out here and do right now, but I'm glad that I have. I think it's going to encourage someone to take that next step, to order the book, to download it, and then when you get it, start doing it. Find the things in here that are going to work for you, and start sampling some of the things. If it's in this book, I did it. So I don't have a lot of herbs in this book. I think there's probably maybe 6 or 7 herbs that I list. Well, those are my herbs. Those are the ones that I personally use. And my own vitamin line is about to be released again. So I'm just encouraging you to get to these good things. You're going to be so glad you did. Your life's going to become a blessed life that you can share. You can run the race God's given you with all your heart, because you're going to feel like it. You're going to feel good again. And it's going to be a blessing to your family, because they need you as much as the world needs you. Your children need you. Your spouse needs you. Be encouraged. Have health. Be blessed. Get the book.